We're past the halfway point in USL League One action this year, and you would think that every single team has played each other, but today we have another unique matchup for you. It's the Chattanooga Red Wolves and Forward Madison FC here at CHI Memorial Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Welcome one and all to this broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster. I'm excited to call the action here today between these two sides. Let's take a look at our body armor player to watch for the Chattanooga Red Wolves. It's going to be a winger that you've seen before. It's Ricky Ruiz, a guy who can facilitate goals and score goals himself. As you see here, that finishing capability that he has shown throughout the season. He has assists, and he's able to put it in the back of the net himself, as we see here, assisting their lead goal scorer, Juan Galindrez. Both of these happen in the same match, so he can do a little bit of both in even a single game. So a deadly player in the wing who could slip behind the back of Madison defenders. Meanwhile, Forward Madison may be thinking that they're going to a tough location to play at CHI Memorial Stadium, but they have proven that they could go on the road against top-of-the-table teams like they did here at Legacy Early College back on June 23rd, a 2-2 draw with the Greenville Triumph, and then they did it again at Werner Park against the top-of-the-table team, Union Omaha, a 1-1 draw there. So they could go to a tough environment and come out with the result. So they are ready for today's affair. As you see here, they can get it done. Even if they're in the middle of the table, they are still a devout foe. Well, with that, it's two teams with entirely different roster builds and playing styles, but they're going to clash and get a taste of each other for the first time this season. It's the Chattanooga Red Wolves and Forward Madison coming up next on ESPN+.
Good times, bad times, and everything in between. Your primary care doctor is with you all the way.
Come on. Yes. Whoa. Come on. Yes. Whoa.
If your tamer passions include climbing, hang gliding, and river surfing, some may call you a hair-on-fire risk taker. We'd say, nah. They might not realize you're also a nonconformist, craft curator, history buff, art-loving experience collector. But ask a Chattanoogan, we just call you one of us.
Welcome to CHI Memorial Stadium, home of the Chattanooga Red Wolves, a location that is very quickly becoming a staple and the standard for USL League One soccer. It's the Red Wolves and Forward Madison here on ESPN+. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for today's action, starting with the home team, the Chattanooga Red Wolves. They're going to go with a 4-5-1, so really overloading in that midfield. Josue Espana and Jackson Dietrich on the wing spots, but all of those players in that middle five could score goals, so they are a dangerous group. Don't think that one striker is going to make them not deadly on the attack. Also, only 6 players on the bench for Chattanooga today, and we'll notice that that's the same case on the flip side as we take a look at Forward Madison's starting lineup here. Also, 6 players on the bench. They have been a little unhealthy recently, so maybe a gentleman's agreement between the two, but that's more speculation than anything else. Number 33, Chino Perez, making his first start and appearance for Forward Madison this season. Just got loaned out from Ireland, so fresh off the press, Chino Perez. We'll see how he does in the midfield. As we see here in CHI Memorial Stadium, Let's take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by ASA Engineering and Consulting. For the Red Wolves, they're going to try and stretch that back four for Madison and then slice into that space, avoiding Connor Tobin. Meanwhile, Forward Madison are willing to embrace that pressure, and they want to spring that trap because they know how aggressive Chattanooga can get, and they can leave themselves exposed when they are thinking goal on their mind, and they'll then punish them on the counterattack. So both teams looking to come into the game and execute their game day strategy. That both are confident that they can get it done. You hear the fans here at CHI Memorial Stadium. Forward Madison familiar with rowdy environments, and we're underway. Will it be another instance of the Cardiac Red Wolves, or will Chattanooga, Tennessee see some flamingo action here today? Now in the second half of USL League One's third season. Forward Madison donning their white kits, going left to right. Meanwhile, the Chattanooga Red Wolves in their classic reds after donning those slick black kits last weekend against the Triumph. And this is a game that we'll probably see a lot of Chattanooga on the attack, because Madison is totally okay with bunkering down and even are inviting Chattanooga to come forward like we just saw in those keys to the game. So expect this left half of the pitch for the first 45 to be incredibly active. To be fair, whether Madison were welcoming it or not, Chattanooga seems to have a way with doing that in games anyway. Once again, my name is Mark Schoenster. Excited to call the action for you here today. The first time these two teams have met this season. It's strange to think about given the fact that, like I mentioned, halfway through the season at this point. And Phil Brino, the keeper for Forward Madison, will be the one to scoop this one up and distribute it once again. The Chattanooga Red Wolves have more one-goal wins than any other team in the league right now, so really know how to win those close games. And talking to Jimmy Obleda, the head coach for the Chattanooga Red Wolves, he said that the players we have brought in have bought in. And he mentioned that during the game he tries, or during the game and during the week, he tries to be philosophical with them. As this ball gets lobbed forward for Jake Keegan. Keegan lobs this one forward, punched away by Tim Trilk. A crafty little shot there from the veteran. Jake Keegan tests the younger goalkeeper in Tim Trilk, but the 22-year-old is up for it early. Let's take a look at this one again. Jake Keegan, just a lob shot there. And that one would have gone in. Trilk, though, on his toes, ready for it. Jake Keegan, a guy that Jimmy Obleda, the head coach of the Red Wolves, had a lot of respect for. So these Chattanooga players have him circled as one of those threats. And Tim Trilk has to keep himself agile here in the open. Player goes down. Looks like it's the new appearance, Chino Perez, but he will not draw the penalty here. That'll be cleared out for a Chattanooga throw. But as I was saying, Jimmy Obleda says you really find out who you are down a goal or level late in the game. You're 70 minutes in, you're tired, but you got to keep pushing. And he said that he tries to tell his players, this isn't just going to happen on a soccer pitch. This happens in life in different scenarios. What are you going to do when those days come, whether it be on the pitch or in any other instance? He said that we demand extra in everything we do throughout the week so then it can come out in games. A little bit of a precarious give back from Jason Ramos to Tim Trilk, but coast is clear for Chattanooga. And Jimmy said that everyone has that grit. We just need to squeeze it out of you. In the end, winners find ways to win. I want to talk about deserved winners. Last week, Forward Madison, unfortunately, were the victims of the latest goal in USL League One history to Fort Lauderdale. And head coach Carl Craig said that it was frustrating and it was tough to be in the locker room after that one. He said that it was like someone had died almost with just how disappointing and how upset everyone was. But then he followed up to say, but you have to get up in the morning as this one gets cleared away. Nifty little back heel to try to shake that out of danger. And Chattanooga, though, are able to win that ball back for, actually, no, it'll be a Madison throw-in. And Carl Craig said that you have to get up the next morning, and credit to Fort Lauderdale for playing till the whistle. He said, we felt like we deserved to win that game more so than ever. I mean, coaches like to say that a lot, that they felt they had the better hand, but that was an instance where you really feel like Forward Madison earned 3 points in that game, only for it to get ripped away in the dying moments. But now's a chance to really erase that game. If they could come away with a statement here today in Chattanooga, it is a tough, tough place to play, CHI Memorial Stadium. And so far, no one's been able to come away with 3 points here in Tennessee, outside of course, the home side. Here's Jimmy Villalobos. He's got some acreage, fires a shot himself, and that's well off target. Phil Brino can stay relaxed here for now. I'm sure that's the first of many chances for the Red Wolves as this game goes on. Now Derek Gebhard will chase this ball down and will box out, in essence, Jonathan Esparza. Good little turn and move from the new player. That through ball, though, is not quite good enough from Jepson. And Chattanooga, once again, will be on the prowl. Ricky Ruiz. It's tough to figure out where he's in the formation because of just how fluid of a player he is. He can play anywhere in that midfield. Here's Carrera Garcia. He fires a shot, and this one finds its way to the back of the net. A tight angle shot, and Jose Carrera Garcia, after not scoring all season, has scored in 2 straight games. Chattanooga up early at CHI Memorial Stadium. Let's take a look at that one again. Jose Carrera Garcia, the 26-year-old midfielder. Look at that rocket of a shot from the midfielder. The captain gets rewarded and congratulated by Jackson Dietrich. And wonderful work as he takes a look at a camera, something that's starting to become customary with these Chattanooga players after they score. They know where the eyes are on them. And Jose Carrera Garcia, goal scoring is not really his first responsibility, to say the least, on this team, because he's right in the middle of that formation week in and week out. And I even asked about him when talking to Jimmy Obleda this week, and he said that Jose Carrera Garcia is the most important signing we had this past year. He said he wins the ball for us. He has experience at the highest level, has maturity, and he keeps it all together. And he mentions we can always play through him, and the fact of the matter is when he's off, we're off, but when he's on, we are on. So Jose Carrera Garcia, a critical member of this team for Chattanooga, and he's on the goal sheet early. Can Madison find a response here? Early goal from the Red Wolves. Get things going early for them. Gebhard gets that ball hoofed away, but it will stay in the away team's possession. Well, when assessing the last game that happened for Chattanooga, which was last week here at CHI against the Greenville Triumph, they also got an early goal in that game. And Jimmy Obleda said, it's great that we got that early goal, but we're still not quite there yet. He said that we controlled it with and without the ball, but one little mistake resulted in a goal, and credit to Greenville for pouncing on that. He said we still have to get better, and that we're lacking those little things that result in clean sheets. So we'll see if, now that they're up a goal, how Chattanooga can be stout throughout the rest of this game, if they can hold this lead, or if they're going to need to find the score sheet a couple more times before it's over to come away with 3 points. That'll definitely be something to keep your eye on if you're either fan of the away side or the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Phil Brino won't get his 4th clean sheet today. Not much he could do about that shot, though. That was a absolute laser from Jose Carrera Garcia. Really interesting change in perspective for Forward Madison this past week. Of course, he had that disappointing loss, but then they turned around and had a really awesome fantasy camp program where fans of the team had the chance to do a lot of cool stuff with the program, including Carl Craig and some of the players to get involved. Frischnick, as well as Ricky Ruiz, trying to win that ball back for Forward Madison, or for Chattanooga. There's some transition. Chattanooga, Jackson Dietrich on the ball. Well done on that one by Audie Jepson. Tracking back to help his defenders. But that fantasy camp, Carl Craig, head coach of Forward Madison, said, what a great time. You know, we love the diehards in our program, and he mentioned that we did some warm-up drills, showed them the locker room, had a Q&A with him, the head coach, and that they had the chance to reel in Jake Keegan, Carlos Gomez, Josiah Trimmingham for some questions, and he mentioned that he doesn't think that those players have been able to experience that kind of admiration and interaction before. He mentioned that some of the players who, or not players, but some of the fans who got to play could play some ball, others very much couldn't. One player, or one person in particular, he noted was that there was one guy who was talking to the goalkeeping coach and was wide-eyed, taking notes, talking to him, just soaking in every single word that the head coach had for him. And he said that the whole experience, it keeps you honest, and that, honestly, this is what it's all about, is being able to interact with those fans, with your community. And he said it was a wonderful way to, you know, reset your perspective. You have a bit of a folly between two players, and one of them being Chino Perez, so maybe not quite on the same page with his teammates yet. Again, fresh off the press, coming from Ireland, as Chattanooga push forward once again. Carrera Garcia's ball's not bad, but it's knocked away by Eric Leonard. Good little step from Ruiz. Swings this ball in. Frischnick nearly had it. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com. Well, although down one, this is a Madison team that Jimmy Obleda has a lot of admiration for, and highlighted a couple players in particular that he really liked, including one that we've already seen have a chance early. He said Jake Keegan's an exceptional goal scorer. A couple other players he mentioned. He was very impressed with Malloy. As the aforementioned Keegan will draw the offside flag and will stop play and progress for the away team. Jimmy said that he's impressed with Malloy, guy who runs the ship, holds tempo, has great vision, and then he couldn't help but highlight Connor Tobin, who he called an absolute animal, and also couldn't help but say that he could chug a beer like no other guy, and added to that he doesn't think on his best day, Jimmy Obleda, that after 90 minutes could he crush it like Connor Tobin does. So admiration for him as a soccer player as well as his other talents. He said that those three players, they make up a really solid spine for this Forward Madison team. And he's preached it before, that a solid spine equals a good football team. And he said that we've been watching them, even though haven't had the chance to scout them out or play them yet this season. They've been taking notes throughout the year. Obviously, when you scout out your opponents, you have to watch their previous matches, and some of them have been against Forward Madison, and you might as well take notes of the other team as well, just to get yourself familiar with them before you even have to play them. And he said that he really looked forward to playing Forward Madison and was excited to get the chance to finally get a look at them now halfway through the year. Jose Carrera Garcia's ball goes forward for España. Josue España sends it to Ricketts. He sends it inside. Here's Esparza! That's a great save from Brino. Phil Brino able to get on that one. Jonathan Esparza looking to join the goal-scoring club here in Chattanooga as Jose Carrera Garcia nearly jumps on that one. Esparza, not one who has been on the assist sheet or goal sheet this season. Maybe saw that goal, got wide-eyed, but Phil Brino had a different idea in mind. 11 different guys have scored goals for Chattanooga. In theory, you could start a whole lineup of goal scorers. Of course, you wouldn't have a goalkeeper or a well-balanced offense or formation, but the fact of the matter is that you could do it. And Esparza was thinking to make himself number 12 on that list. On the flip side, Carl Craig's assessment of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. First off, he had to say that's crazy that we haven't played Chattanooga yet, given how far into the season it is. And then he moved on to say that they play gritty South/Central American football. And he says that they play man-to-man, not quite to the extent of San Jose's level, as in the San Jose Earthquakes in the MLS, but regardless, they play a man-to-man style. As here is Perez moving forward, and his shot gets all the way to Trill. A tight window, much like Carrera Garcia's, but not quite with the same velocity until Trilk is ready for it. We mentioned that Chattanooga likes to go after the individual and that their aggressiveness can leave them open in the back. They also got a lot of speed and assertiveness. But the fact of the matter is that they leave loads of space behind them. And Carl Craig believes that Forward Madison will have the ability, and they need a game plan for it, to trap Chattanooga on the attack, as was mentioned in our keys to the game. Of course, narratives could change when you're down a goal. You may not be so welcoming to Chattanooga always being on the attack when you've already got one ahead of you, as this ball hopefully looks for Frischnick, but cleared away handily by Connor Tobin. And there's Carl Craig now. In his first year as the head coach for Forward Madison, so it's his first time playing the Chattanooga Red Wolves. It's always interesting to see every team's take on how to handle these monsters, especially here in Chattanooga. Play a very different style from most of the teams in USL League One. And with that results a lot of unique adjustments from coaches when they come and play Chattanooga. Spania back to Villalobos. As you can hear the fans at CHI Memorial Stadium chanting in their wonderful stadium, the first stadium built for League One action and League One action only. They have some great environments throughout the league, Legacy Early College, Werner Park, of course, Bree Stevens Field, the staple of energy and loud crowds that the Flock and Forward Madison faithful have to offer. But this is definitely one of a kind here in Chattanooga with the fact that it was built for League One play. And they'll definitely continue to look to challenge Bree Stevens Field as the loudest environment in League One. Here's Derek Gebhard. Madison has been able to respond from down a goal in the past, especially with so much game time left. This one is obviously far from over, especially from a mature team like Forward Madison. Chino Perez cannot keep that ball in. just officially announced his loaning today, just a couple hours ago. So maybe we'll see some rust as far as his chemistry is concerned, but coming from the Irish Premier Division, obviously has some talents to bring to the table, and he's already shown some individual skills here today. Here's a seeking ball forward, but the flag will go up. Nothing to come of that one. Chattanooga fans, check out the new 2021 Chattanooga Red Wolves kit, along with t-shirts, scarves, novelty items, and much more at ChattanoogaRedWolves-SC.com. You know, they released those black kits last week. Those are selling like crazy, and for good reason. Forward Madison knows a thing or two about good kits as well. They're innovative, reversible third kits, something that also took social media by storm. So USL League One knows how to make some shirts, that's to say the least. I mentioned when he scored that goal, Jose Carrera Garcia, just his second goal of the season. He scored his first one just last weekend, and it was off of a free kick that I believe bounced off of Tyler Pollock, the defender for the Greenville Triumph. And Jimmy Obleda mentioned that we practiced that exact free kick the day before the game. He mentioned that we knew they had big guys on the wall and that Pollock would come in late, so sort of designed a play around that and just for that occasion. And bingo, it worked out. He mentioned that on top of that, there's definitely some focus on set pieces this week. We're going to get a foul on Chattanooga against Jake Keegan, so it'll be a free kick in a good spot. Speaking of set pieces, Jake Keegan still on the ground. 30-year-old striker back up on his feet. Tested Tim Trilk early with an inventive little volley. Maybe he can find himself on the receiving end of a Aaron Malloy or a fresh Chino Perez free kick. Not sure what he can do from the spot. He's actually going to drift away, so only Malloy can be the author of this one. Malloy's ball's good, headed away though by Frischnick. That was a low swinging ball. Already a good show here today for the Chattanooga faithful, and it's typically a good show. And they haven't had the disappointment of a loss yet this season, so anytime you come into a CHI Memorial Stadium, not only do you get great facilities, but also a great product on the pitch. I went back and did some counting. 7 games so far this season at home. 4 of them have had late game goals or a goal or goals plural from the Red Wolves to draw or take the lead. So these are guys that more often than not score in that last window of the game when you're at home. So just a great product to come out and watch. Chattanooga fans, Coca-Cola is the exclusive soft drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Now here come Madison. Aaron Malloy has some yardage, gives it to Gebhard. He lays it out to his left. The ball's looking for Malloy, but is well covered by Josue Espana tracking back. Sturdy defending by the Madison defense, Jiro Bariga Toyama in particular. Only player on the pitch today that won a player or a team of the week accolade for last week's action, week 16. He'll move forward, making a little bit of a run. Free kick drawn by Jackson Dietrich, who's officially been awarded with the assist for the goal in this game. So his second assist of the season. Jackson Dietrich, a guy who is one of the many guys who have created one of those late game goals. His claim to fame being North Texas back 2 weeks ago. Dying moments of that game off of a free kick from Ray Ortiz. Chattanooga fans, Ford is the official domestic car partner of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Well, I keep talking about late game for Chattanooga, and I decided to bring that up to Carl Craig this week. Ask him, how do you handle a team that just fires on all cylinders in that last stretch of the game? And he had a different approach to it. He said that we have to go out there and take the game to them, be confident going into the final stretch. So it's less about changing anything or adjusting for that last bit of the game, but about going into that final stretch on the right foot and then just continuing to hold from there. And he said that we're the best at what we train for, and we know we can defend. And something that's been really messing with them recently is turning the ball over in a panic once you get the ball back. And stuff like that will result in your back four or your block just not getting rest and continually having to defend and make plays. And eventually you're going to let something through. He said it's time to regain some composure. Long story short. Here's Villalobos. He'll chip it to his left for Espana. And Espana will be sitting in an offside position. August is USL Supporters Month, and we want to hear from you. Visit uslchampionship.com/supporters-month for more information on how you could get involved and have a chance to be featured as the supporter of the week. Well, we got two fantastic fan bases in Forward Madison and the Chattanooga Red Wolves, so I highly encourage all the fans that have something to show for themselves to submit something, because I think that both fans from these fan bases have a good chance of making an appearance with all the energy that they provide at game day and some of the passion that they have, and just some, it's top shelf for USL League One. After a couple of collisions, it will be a free kick for Ford Madison. Our first booking of the day, Jackson Dietrich will get his second yellow card of the season. Second assist, second yellow card here today. So one good and one bad second. As we take a look at this foul here. Just an unnecessary follow through on that challenge. Sometimes that physicality get the best of you here. Taught to be aggressive. Sometimes they need to take a little bit too far. Here comes Forward Madison. Meets a brick wall of Chattanooga players, but here's another opportunity now. Leonard lays it off. This ball finding Gebhard. He's going to be stuck in the corner. Well done to find Diazville on the outside. Maybe Forward Madison hold a little spell in the attacking half. Pass the ball around and test Chattanooga's shape on defense, something that maybe hasn't been their strong suit throughout this season. Here's Perez, and he's dispossessed easily by Carrera Garcia, then gets tangled up. There's some fun clicking and clacking there, and does result in Chattanooga ball. Jose Carrera Garcia, the captain, and the difference between these two sides so far. I alluded to it earlier in talking about how this game's far from over because of Forward Madison's maturity, and that was something that Jimmy Obleda very quickly acknowledged as far as this Forward Madison team is concerned. He said that teams like Greenville and Madison just know how to manage the game. And he cited Connor Tobin in particular and said that he knows when to move forward, when to drop back, when to pick it up, slow it down, knows when to make a professional foul, which is a skill that you need as this ball seeks forward and will be escorted out of play by Jiro Barriga Toyama. We're going to have a talking to from our header official, Deshaun Beard, doing some managing of this game. So far, so good in that regard. Hasn't been too ugly. Only one yellow card. Knock on wood. And we're going to get a hydration break here between these two sides. So, talking about Forward Madison here, Jimmy Obleda said that the difference between us and those teams, referring to mature teams like Greenville and Forward Madison, is that they know when to make those decisions. Clearing, when to foul, what to do in individual moments like that. As we take a look at our goal scorer, Jose Carrera Garcia, and you're going to want to listen to this. Jimmy Obleda, talking about Jose Carrera Garcia, said that, first off, he's been reading this book called The Captain's Class, and it's about the greatest teams of all time. And he mentioned the best ones aren't the teams with a superstar player like Michael Jordan, even though obviously it helps to have a guy like that. He said they're the teams with a guy who makes everyone better, someone like Jose Carrera Garcia, who may not always show up on the stat sheet, though he's doing so recently. He said Jose Carrera Garcia is our ticket to playoff victories, as we see the two talking right now. Jimmy Obleda, always an impassionate coach, missing the tie today, just going with the button down. After 31 minutes and nearly a full other minute of change, they do find themselves up a goal. Meanwhile, for Forward Madison, they're going to have to see what they can do to turn this game around. And talking to Carl Craig, I asked him, this is a tough environment to play in, CHI Memorial Stadium, and is one that's trying to challenge Bree Stevens Field as the toughest place to play in the league. And Carl Craig, quite frankly, shrugged it off. He said, we've been to Omaha, we've been to Greenville, and we've done well on the road. Those are tough environments, and we can do it in Chattanooga as well. So, not at all scared of coming into Tennessee and playing here in this environment. Both sides looking to make this happen for the next 60 minutes of this game. To look to see how Forward Madison handles the next 15 or so minutes and then what they do in the locker room. Had a chance to talk with Carl Craig there, their head coach, and we'll see if they make any tweaks here before the whistle is blown for halftime. Got a lot of good stuff coming up for you in that regard. And if you're a Chattanooga Red Wolves fan, I would definitely pay attention to the video about the black kits if you're looking for one. We'll be giving you a barcode. You'll want to get your phone ready for that. But before halftime, Forward Madison thinking about 1-1 here. Gebhardt's ball comes in, the swinging header! And we are level! Forward Madison make it 1-1. A wonderful ball from Derek Gebhardt. And a fantastic header. We take a look, it's Noah Fuson. Much like Jose Carrera Garcia, scored his first goal of the season last weekend. and gets his second straight here.
Forward Madison, goal,
And
31,
no clean sheet for Chattanooga, and it's game on here for another 30 to 60 minutes. Noah Fuson, 21 years old. Goal number 2 for him on the year. So now on both ends, we've had a goal-scoring account open just a week ago, and now they're coming out the floodgates. And Noah Fuson's goal last week was fantastic. Ended up winning goal of the week with that blast of a shot. That's something else we'll see at halftime. And talking about that goal, Carl Craig said that he's never seen him hit that long goal in practice. He always dings the crossbar. He just put his head down and blazed forward. That one, maybe more of a team effort there. A great cross from Gebhard. And just a wonderful finish from the left striker, Noah Fuson. And talking about Noah Fuson, Carl Craig said that I first met him in December, and he talked about how Muhammad Ali inspires him, and he sort of has a I can go and I can get where I want to go mentality. He's also a guy that's worked with Daniel Sturridge in the past, so English superstar Daniel Sturridge. That's a great experience to have as a player. He says goals like that can reaffirm your belief, and he's not an arrogant guy. He's one who's always willing to ask questions and isn't embarrassed to ask questions. He's also a hard trainer in practice, Noah Fuson. And sometimes Carl Craig has to pull him out of the practice because he's pushing himself too much, and he has to tell him, Noah, you're going to kill yourself if you keep going like this. And now with a second goal in his belt, he's got a lot of confidence as Jake Keegan moves forward. And he gets tangled up and goes down with Daniel Navarro. No foul called. Pleading for a tugged jersey, Jake Keegan. He will not get it. And forward Madison got some energy here now that they've equalized. Wonderful stuff here at CHI Memorial Stadium tonight. That ball's going to be headed out for, can you believe it, the first corner kick of the day, brought to you by a local Ford dealer. Typically, we have to look at that corner a lot here in Chattanooga, but today it's been held inside the pitch up until now. Can Chattanooga find a response in the set piece department? This ball flicked around a couple of times. It found Ricketts. He's not ready for it, though. Take 2 for Chattanooga. Going around the top. Could have another swinging ball here. We get one. Punched away by Brino. Here's Chino Perez. Now the goal scorer, Fuson. Getting chased down by Craig Garcia, sends it forward for Diaz. And that's just knocked away by Tim Trill. Didn't have any air under it, but gets the job done. Derek Gebhard, have to acknowledge that wonderful cross and assist. His first assist of the season. And that's something that, in a way, Carl Craig was preaching this week. He talked about how, you know, you aren't always going to be the guy who scores goals, and that's something he's been trying to drill into the head of his players. And he said, so if you're not always going to be the guy who scores, then be the best resource for your teammates so then they can score goals when their chance comes. So Derek Gebhard, as resourceful of a ball as you're going to find on that cross, practically magnetized its way to Noah Fuson's head, who came flying in and rifled that into the right corner. That's exactly the kind of stuff that Carl Craig will be looking for. Eric Leonard, the one who will hoof this one away. Continue to hear those chants from the fans, encouraging their home side. They try to get on the attack, but Forward Madison holding steady ever since conceding that goal. We talked about the fact that sometimes you're not going to be the guy who scores goal for Forward Madison. It's the same kind of idea the Red Wolves have also been thinking about these past few weeks. Espana's ball gets deflected as it skies in. Wonderful touch from Ruiz, but can't be brought in by Esparza. He'll slip up after the fact. Chattanooga fans, Body Armor is the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Chattanooga, on Jimmy Obleda's side, he said that selflessness has been a focus for a little bit. And he said that the players are really buying into it. And he said, he wants players to think that I look just as good sending a teammate the ball for a goal as I do scoring a goal. And it's very interesting that that message has really clicked with the team. And since then, the guy who's been maybe one of the most instrumental players in scoring goals on the assisting and passing side has now scored twice in Jose Carrera Garcia. So maybe everyone kind of getting in on the party on the facilitation side. Jackson Dietrich getting his second assist today. So both teams really trying to get it in their players' head that you don't always have to be the goal-scoring star, but you could still make great plays to set up your teammates for goals. As Perez makes a great little build-up here for Malloy. Keegan's shot gets deflected around and into the hands of Tim Trilk. And he'll have to fall on that one. Forward Madison looking promising and more promising as the game goes on. Trilk is going to have to be careful. Also some great work from Chino Perez there. Looking to start the second half of the season on a high note, Oakland Roots SC welcomes high-powered Phoenix Rising FC when the USL on ESPN continues. Don't miss any of the action from the Golden State Wednesday, August 4th at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Jose Carrera Garcia's ball spins in a little bit too tightly for Jackson Dietrich. And now Forward Madison once again moving forward. Really starting to do some damage in transition, which is what they were looking for, trying to spring that trap. And we've got our second yellow card of the day. Looking to see if that was on Villalobos or Carrera Garcia. And it's going to be Jimmy Villalobos getting his first booking of the year. Just a push on Derek Gebhard. Maybe an instance where looking for that professional foul, Jimmy Villalobos, because that was looking promising for the Mingos. They could still do something here on this set piece. Loads of time left here in the first half. It's Eric Leonard and Aaron Malloy. It'll be Malloy. That one's chipped out wide and doesn't connect with Keegan. Chattanooga on their heels right now. Forward Madison, they could smell it. A little bit ago it was 1-0, but maybe they're thinking 2-1 in their favor going into the halftime. Another foul for, this time on Jose Carrera Garcia. He's going to have to be careful. Almost think that could have been a yellow card offense, and shakes the hand of the fellow captain on the pitch, Connor Tobin. Two guys who have been around the block. Tobin maybe a little longer than Craig Garcia. Has got 8 years of age on him. But as far as this young Chattanooga team is concerned, 26 years old for Jose Correa Garcia. Pretty experienced guy. Keegan sends this one forward. Perez gets tripped down in the box. No penalty called. And Chattanooga once again have the ball. Maybe heaving a sigh of relief. Forward Madison. Continuing to push forward with some danger. Frustration from the away side after that late whistle. Thought the ball was won back fairly. You can see the fourth official on the left. It's going to be 3 minutes of added time. Really not a lot of slowed this game down. Just 2 goals and that hydration break have really been the stoppages. And what has been an incredibly active first half of action. And we've got some fun halftime action coming your way after this, so you're not going to want to leave your seats. Unless you're going to just hurriedly sprint during a break and come back, but I wouldn't take too many risks. We're going to get a foul on Jonathan Ricketts this time, much to the dismay of the home fans. Jonathan Ricketts, the defender, will be the one guilty of the foul. One of the guys that the fans really got to love, Chattanooga native. There's Esparza, wins the ball back for Chattanooga. Now Frischnick, been a little silent today. Lays it off and gets deflected around, but it'll still be Chattanooga ball. Espana now. Josue Espana. His ball swings in. And we may have gotten some contact inside the 18, but the referee will not say anything about it. Perez with a little bit of a dummy to Malloy. That was good work. But Chattanooga, after some collisions, will be guilty of a foul here. Some good work from Chino Perez. Once again showing off some skill and some smarts, laying it off to Aaron Malloy, who then drew the foul. And now his collar's a little goofed up. I mentioned earlier, Blake Frischnick been kind of quiet today. Well, I think one of those main reasons for it is the captain for Ford Madison, Connor Tobin, really top class as far as a center back is concerned, and someone that was circled in the game plan this week for Chattanooga. Avoid him when you can, unless you can draw him out of position, but obviously he's a savvy veteran who knows better than that most of the time. And as such has done a great job on Blake Frischnick here today. Here's Tobin now. Pressing forward himself. Not a lot of time left in the half. Maybe one more spout here for forward Madison. And there will be your halftime whistle. An exciting and action-packed first 45 plus 3 minutes. You're going to want to stick around for the second half because I think this one is far from over as far as excitement is concerned. It's a goal from Jose Correa Garcia, the captain, his second of the season early in the game, but a response from Noah Fuson levels it up in the 35th minute. It's 1-1 all between the Chattanooga Red Wolves and Forward Madison FC. So a lot of fun to come here today. Got some halftime content coming up next. If you're interested in Chattanooga Red Wolves' third kit, you're going to want to stick around and get the barcode for that. Outside of that, you've got highlights and more coming up next. It's 1-1 between these two sides. 2 goal scorers who have scored their second straight goal of the season have been the difference in this one so far. Halftime coming up next.
In America, the future belongs to everyone, so we built the Ford F-150 for everyone with an available Pro Power onboard generator and best-in-class available payload. It's built for America.
The day the world was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
The most important thing I do is I try to listen to my patients.
I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a son, and I try to relate to them and make them understand I get it.
Have some empathy of what they're dealing with.
Vascular surgery, I think, is probably one of the most rewarding because of that long-term relationship.
This is not a job. This is who we are.
Visit ChattanoogaHeart.com/vascular center.
In America, the future belongs to everyone, so we built the Ford F-150 for everyone with an available Pro Power onboard generator and best-in-class available payload. It's built for America.
If your tamer passions include climbing, hang gliding, and river surfing, some may call you a hair-on-fire risk taker. We'd say, nah. They might not realize you're also a nonconformist, craft curator, history buff, art-loving experience collector. But ask a Chattanoogan, we just call you one of us.
Welcome back to Halftime, brought to you by Transcard. Transcard is a world leader in payments technology solutions for financial institutions, technology companies, and businesses. Well, folks, let's take a look at some of the highlights from last week's action and get you caught up to today's games, starting with Richmond Kickers visiting South Georgia Tormenta FC at Irk Russell Park. And this one started about 2 minutes into the game. Azad Liati taken to the ground, and a penalty is awarded. Marco Micheletto, 7th goal of the season, ties him with Garrett McLaughlin, Emiliano Terzaghi, and Greg Hurst at the time. And then he's able to log his first assist of the year to Kobe Perez to make it 2-0 in the second half. Things not looking good for Richmond. Just lost 4-0 to North Carolina FC and are now down 2-0 once again. But the Richmond Kickers have some fight. And I just mentioned him earlier. Emiliano Terzaghi makes it 7 to 8 goals on the season with that acrobatic attempt. This guy just can't score normal goals, as we see that just wonderful deflection, crazy tight window, and Richmond continues to fight. Late game. Olex Anderson, you see him on the ground, gets back up on his feet and puts it away to make it a 2-2 draw, as you see him there. That's an efforted play. That's the kind of play you need to make when the game is getting tough and things are dire. Now let's go up north to Madison. Madison fans, avert your eyes. I know you won't want to think about this after this blaster of a goal from Noah Fuson. 1 goal of the week. That is just an absolute screamer of a goal from him. Unfortunately, though, in the 100th minute, things got bad for the home side. This ball gets in. Mitchell Curry, another talented goal scorer, gets himself his 5th of the season, and the latest goal in League One history. 100th minute, Mitchell Curry is able to draw level and get a point out of that affair. Later that day, FC Tucson hosted Union Omaha, the top of the table team, Union Omaha. And when we have a bunch of great goals in a week, they come in clumps. Damia Viader with an absolute rocket of a shot right there. It seems that whenever there are fantastic goals, they always all come in the same week, because that's the same week as Robbie Christo's magnificent midfield goal. And then check out this assist from Devin Boyce. Sets up Greg Hurst for his 8th goal of the season, so Micheletto may have been tied with them after his penalty earlier in the day, but Hurst and Emiliano Terzaghi go up to 8, which ties them for 2nd beneath Mario Slomis. Then, late in the second half, FC Tucson, and it's Shaq Adams who chases after that ball. May have been logged as an own goal, but the fact of the matter is Tucson got themselves back into this game, but they weren't able to find a second goal, so it would be 2-1. Now, yesterday, since 2019, it hasn't been played on BMO Training Ground, but Toronto FC2 are back on their home turf after their long voyage this season in temporary homes. And got a pretty exciting affair. A lot of shots, a lot of great chances, but neither team could really find the net. Some great goalkeeping work, as you can see here, by Caleb Patterson-Sewell. That one maybe he took to the face after the Lomas header, but great stuff from him. Had to really stand his ground in their first home game, and then McLaughlin gets taken to the ground. It's going to end up being a red card, so Greenville will have to play a player down for the rest of the affair, and they were able to hold tight, this being one of the best chances of the game. Garrett McLaughlin with a shot. Well done by Dallas J. Always reliable. The game would end 0-0. We have more halftime coverage coming up next for you, brought to you by ESPN+.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
The 18, DeMarcus Sargent goes to his left, hard strike, and it's in the net, 2-1 Oakland.
Blanchett, another massive stop. Scoots deflected, and a big save from Rawls. As Asante takes this on. Oh, that's a tremendous goal from Solo.
Fans, do yourself a favor and scan this QR code ASAP with your phone. You know you want it, and it's hot selling, so be sure to get yourself that jersey before it's too late.
The most important thing I do is I try to listen to my patients.
I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a son, and I try to relate to them and make them understand I get it.
Have some empathy of what they're dealing with.
Vascular surgery, I think, is probably one of the most rewarding because of that long-term relationship.
This is not a job. This is who we are.
Visit ChattanoogaHeart.com/vascular center.
Welcome back to Halftime, brought to you by Transcard. First off, we're at the halfway point this season, and just take a moment to think about all the things we've learned throughout this year and the things we've taken in, including Toronto's entire journey throughout the first half of the season. Finally got to play at BMO Training Ground yesterday, and despite all the things we've learned, 4 of the 5 matches this weekend are new matches, including today's game between the Chattanooga Red Wolves and Forward Madison. So it's been so great so far this season, and there's still so much more exciting action to come, like we've seen in the first 45 minutes. Now, as we take a gander at Team of the Week, the only player from either of these teams that is on this list today is Jiro Bariga Toyama. Did really well in the affair against Fort Lauderdale in last week's action. But Robbie Christo, after the fantastic midfield goal and brace on top of that in that game against Richmond, was earning the Player of the Week. Well-deserved for him, presented by Clear Audio. Now, we do have a couple other games going on right now, including Richmond and Tucson. Emiliano Terzaghi, I mentioned earlier, 8 goals coming into today's games. Now he has his 9th from the penalty spot. You're also going to want to check out some of these other games coming up here in a moment, but definitely been some exciting affairs. A lot of draws last weekend, so the table is tight. We all know it. And now let's take a look at that table now as we look at it. It's insane. From 11 to 1, there's not that much of a difference, just 11 points. That middle of the table is chaos. Meanwhile, Chattanooga, if they can come away with the win today and Omaha lose their game, which just kicked off against North Texas, they could be sitting at the top of the table. Of course, Forward Madison has something to say about that so far today. As I mentioned, Union Omaha is playing North Texas today, so if you're a Chattanooga fan, maybe if you're fortunate to get 3 points at the end of this game, you should tune in to Union Omaha's match with North Texas. I think North Texas is a team that could definitely do some damage against Union Omaha, but haven't found success on the road, and it's in Werner Park. So lots of exciting games outside of that. So we're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll have highlights and the first half stats on ESPN Plus, and then the second half of action right here.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the Ford F-150 for everyone with an available Pro Power onboard generator and best-in-class available payload. It's built for America.
The day the world was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we're going to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
The most important thing I do is I try to listen to my patients.
I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a son, and I try to relate to them and make them understand I get it.
Have some empathy of what they're dealing with.
Vascular surgery, I think, is probably one of the most rewarding because of that long-term relationship.
This is not a job. This is who we are.
Visit ChattanoogaHeart.com/vascular center.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the Ford F-150 for everyone with an available Pro Power onboard generator and best-in-class available payload. It's built for America.
If your tamer passions include climbing, hang gliding, and river surfing, some may call you a hair-on-fire risk taker. We'd say, nah. They might not realize you're also a nonconformist, craft curator, history buff, art-loving experience collector. But ask a Chattanoogan, we just call you one of us.
Welcome back to the Transcard Halftime Show. It's 1-1 between the Chattanooga Red Wolves and Forward Madison. If you weren't able to catch the first half of action, here's a chance to catch up on what happened in the first 45. It was an exciting first 45, jam-packed with action. These highlights brought to you by CHI Memorial. Starting with Jake Keegan's lobbed shot. Tim Trilk, early in the game, had to stay on his toes, punched that one away. Forward Madison wouldn't find too much promising attacks after that in the early game, was really dominated by Chattanooga. And to cap all that domination, early on in the game, Jose Carrera Garcia, lasered shot, hits top netting, just blazes by Phil Brino. And that was the peak of the early attacks from Chattanooga, and they would continue to parade throughout the first half of action, continuing to attack as we see here. More opportunities. Jonathan Esparza, wonderful save, though, by Phil Brino to keep it 1-0. A crucial save in hindsight because this game could have gone a lot differently had it gone up 2-0. But as the game went on, Forward Madison started to really gain their feet, and their game plan started to come to fruition. Now that both teams have gone to the locker room, adjustments may be found. But Derek Gebhard, wonderful cross to Noah Fuson. Just look at this one again. Fuson, that's a textbook header, too. Was able to get his shoulders behind it and just blaze past him. Now take a look at the first half stats brought to you by Coca-Cola. Really, it's split down the middle for the most part. The first half of the first half was Chattanooga's game. The second half of the first half was Forward Madison. So in the second half of action, 45 minutes to go, it's anyone's game, and maybe whichever coach comes out of the locker room making the better adjustments and maybe does better with their substitutions, as I already spot one as we speak, could end up being the difference in this game. And sitting on top of the ball, Juan Galindrez is coming into the game. And I mentioned Blake Frischnick didn't do too much in the first half of action, glued by Connor Tobin. But with 45 more minutes to go, anything can happen here. And maybe Juan Galindrez will have better looks. Now that the game is worn on, this is where he scored so many of his goals in the past, called a super sub. Blake Frischnick out of the game. Juan Galindrez is in. Started a lot of the previous games, but maybe his better fitting role is to come in and wreak havoc in the second half. And we'll see what he can do. 45 minutes. And I'm sure this one still got a lot of surprises for us moving forward. Here's for Madison. We're on the right foot going into halftime. They'll be looking to pick up where they left off. Meanwhile, Chattanooga will be looking to replicate the opening whistle and what ensued after that. We'll get a whistle from our head official, Deshaun Beard. That's a nice little pass right there from Gio Barriga Toyama. Some frustration from Jason Ramos after the foul was called. Some aggravation there from the center back. We'll get another whistle, this time in favor of Chattanooga. It's going to be quickly thrown in. Ricky Ruiz, our player to watch. Hasn't had too much involvement in today's game for his standards, at least. And now the goal scorer, Noah Fuson. We'll let this one roll to him and move forward. Audie Jepson looks to switch it to his right. Can't quite find his teammate in Christian Diaz. That's a seeking ball, looking forward. There is another substitution that also happened at halftime. Marky Hernandez, who is near the ball right now, comes in for Josue Espana. So Hernandez and Galindrez, two impact substitutions on the regular, both in the game, seeing they can retake the pace of this game. We're going to get a goal kick here. Today's Ball Kids brought to you by Rodriguez Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, devoted to giving you the best care, the best service, and the smile that you've always dreamed of. The chanting continues here at CHI Memorial Stadium. We have gotten full of content so far here today with the happenings of the first half, and now they'll be expecting the customary exciting second half that has become so normal here at CHI Memorial Stadium. Here's Hernandez. Marky Hernandez weaving forward, trying to get past Diaz, but Diaz does well to hold up against him. That's a tall order. You also see a new look from Marky Hernandez. Has shaved off the hair. A new look for him. Phil Brino will be the one to put this one in. This Forward Madison team hasn't found a lot of success recently. Their form right now, 3 draws, a win, and a loss. So it's not the worst of forms, but it's also not the best. And there's definitely been some lackluster performances from this Forward Madison side. And Carl Craig was free to admit it. He said that we've been avoiding pressure moments as this ball flicks in for Galindrez, headed away. Danger for Forward Madison here. And Gebhard is able to maybe precariously pass that ball to the goal scorer, Noah Fuson. Some nice space found out on the right side. Madison on the attack. Gebhard makes a step, asks for a tug, and no foul called by Deshaun Beard. Now Chattanooga moving forward. Juan Galindrez will have to track this one down to the corner. Ricky Ruiz is down, but play will go on. Galindrez gives it to Carrera Garcia. Chattanooga's goal scorer. Marky Hernandez trying to do some footwork to shake off the defender, but Audie Jepson is not going to let himself get fooled so easily. Hernandez could swing this ball in, taps it to Ruiz. Ricky Ruiz takes a couple more steps, passes one inside. Barrino's ready for it. And just like the first half, Chattanooga with some opportunities early. But Forward Madison a little more confident in response, though. I think now that they've been able to see Chattanooga a little bit, their aggressiveness can catch you a little off guard when it's the first time you've played them, but they look adjusted to the game now. I was talking about their form recently, and Carl Craig said that we've been avoiding pressure moments and that they've just been choosing to clear the ball out and hoof it forward when they get it on the defensive end, which isn't really productive outside of stopping the opportunity at hand. He said that let's draw them in and then pounce, and he thinks this can be a standout performance for Forward Madison because he's confident that they can have that sort of effect on Chattanooga. It says what it takes is getting into the spaces and taking some chances. Hernandez offside there. I think you're seeing it unwind a little bit here. Madison have been content with letting Chattanooga make their attacks, but then they spring the ball to midfield and move forward with pace. It's been an interesting back and forth between these two sides. Maybe both kind of accomplishing what they want. This one looking forward from Marky Hernandez. He's got Galindrez in the middle, Dietrich behind him. Marky Hernandez is able to get past one deflator and draws the foul just outside the 18. And that's going to be a yellow card for Audie Jepson, his second of the season. Marky Hernandez has been testing Jepson over there ever since he's come on, using his footwork. 20 on 20 there. And Hernandez gets past him, and Jepson throws in the hand. Keeps Hernandez from getting into real dangerous space, and it was just in time before he was in the penalty area. So overall, maybe the safe move from Audie Jepson in the grand scheme of things, but still a dangerous spot for Chattanooga. The set piece department could prove lethal here. They've been practicing it recently. Jimmy Obleda said that in some games they haven't had the chances that they were used to producing, and so they wanted to practice those set pieces to give them the opportunity to make something out of those moments, something they hadn't been doing earlier in the season. It looks like we've got a player down here. I'll let you know who it is once we've got our eyes on it. It's Noah Fuson, the goal scorer for Forward Madison, getting checked up on. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. It's his 7th start of the season in his 13th appearance. This has only missed 1 game so far this year. 21-year-old striker. He's much like a lot of these players on the opposing side from the West Coast, from LA. Hopefully he'll be okay.
Concessions brought to you this evening by Coca-Cola. Quench your thirst with a Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola beverage. Together, tastes better. Coca-Cola is the exclusive beverage.
And after some work from the trainer, he's able to get back up on his feet, though, with a limp. We'll see if this is the last chance to look at Noah Fuson, the goal scorer for Forward Madison today, and the way it looks, it's going to be the case. Ref maybe calling for a substitution. Haven't gotten anything yet. But for now, Chattanooga have a chance to retake the lead here from a good spot. And it's two guys who know how to set up some goals, Jose Carrera Garcia and Ricky Ruiz. The fans pick up in volume. They've got some big bodies in there, but Forward Madison also has some players who can hold up. And it looks like we are going to get that substitution. Tyler Allen is going to come into the game for the injured Noah Fuson. Tyler Allen, pardon me, 22 years old, from Honolulu, so even further west than LA from here, will come in. The energy is building. The ball gets tapped in. Hernandez with the shot. Hernandez, take two, takes another tap. It's deflected away, off the line. Connor Tobin, I believe the one was on it. And it's going to be a corner kick brought to you by a local Ford dealer. Some inventive moves from Marky Hernandez after the initial shot, but Connor Tobin was privy to it. Wonderful work from the veteran. And it is Connor Tobin getting his shin on that shot. Knew where Hernandez was looking for, but he'll get another go at it. Now it's Jackson Dietrich. Dietrich tries to sneak it through, but Phil Brino is ready for it. Phil Brino has had to make a couple of saves here today. It's always a busy day when you're between the sticks in Chattanooga. He's been up for it for the most part. Jose Carrera Garcia's goal, you don't really put too much blame on that. So good showing so far for Phil Brino. Allen getting his first touches of the day. I think that ball came off an offside Galindrez, but advantage was played to Forward Madison. Galindrez tracking down Phil Brino, but he gets it off in time. That ball will not be kept in play. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern. You can also hear live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157. As Juan Galindrez moves forward, Galindrez gets taken down by Tobin. Tobin has done a wonderful job with those strikers up top. All of Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app is where you can hear all of that action. I think you'll have to forgive me for that interruption. You can never take a break when you're watching the Chattanooga Red Wolves, and Forward Madison have measured that intensity and have answered with their own. It's been an excellent performance from both teams tonight. I said earlier that both teams were kind of excited to get their chance to test out a new opponent, and testing has happened. This one laid out for Hernandez. Hernandez sends this one inside to Ruiz, but he can't reach it. Phil Brino on the end of it. Chattanooga continue to attack. And talking about Forward Madison, Jimmy Obleda mentioned that it's exciting to see a new team. He mentioned they're a nice team to watch, and the players on his team, you know, they get up to play somebody new. When you match up with someone, again, you know what you're in for, but when you get to play a new team, you get to see some new things. And I think both teams so far here today have definitely had some new experiences with what their opponents have to offer, and it's resulted in some great soccer. Chattanooga fans, check out the new 2021 Chattanooga Red Wolves kit, along with t-shirts, scarves, novelty items, and much more at ChattanoogaRedWolves-SC.com. If you weren't fast enough to scan that QR code during halftime, if you're wanting to get that black kit, that's a place to check for it. Senior producer Ryan Rose in the USL League One. I don't know if I could have said it better myself. He said patience is punishment, so if you want that kit, better get on that fast. Actually, the phrase was patience will be punished. That's a little more grammatical sense. Here, another substitution coming in for the Red Wolves, and much like their other two, it's an aggressive substitution. Rafa Mensingen. And there he is, Rafa Mensingen gonna come in for the assister, Jackson Dietrich. Another striker to come in to really throw everything at Forward Madison. And there he is, Rafa Mensingen. He's played against Forward Madison before. The substitution brought to you by D1 Training. 25 years old, a forward. A guy who has had to come back from injury and really recover, and has, in games, really shown what came of him back in 2019 with Lansing Ignite. He has 1 goal to his name this season, just under 200 minutes total. Maybe he can have an impact in this game. Maybe one of the more veteran players on this team. Here's Jose Carrera Garcia. One-on-one with Aaron Malloy. That's a great matchup between those two. Those guys are the centerpieces of their respective teams. That one hoofed up the pitch. Connor Tobin showing some initiative there. Didn't look like that one came off the hand of Bariga Toyama, but the ball will come back to Jason Ramos. So in the end, it all pans out. It's a nice little ball for Hernandez. I think he was onside, but Brino handles it for now. Galindrez tries to track it down for a quick shot, but can't get to it in time. That's a ball forward looking for Gebhardt. I was nearly there. Good run from him. Again, great stuff from both sides. Forward Madison really trying to find those goals on the attacking side of the ball. Hernandez can't find Mensingen on the wide side, and Mensingen will be guilty of a foul there, just barreling into Gio Bariga Toyama. So Madison's going to have the ball, and Carl Craig said that we just got to get the ball in the net. He said that we need to keep asking questions as well in practice to continue to learn as we get a substitution for Forward Madison. Coming into the game is Justin Suko. He'll come in for Audie Jepson. Suko, 22 years old, from San Antonio. See if he can have his impact on the game. But Carl Craig said that we got to keep asking questions, and we just got to get that ball into the back of the net. Outside of that, we're in a good place in the long run, and you just have to keep tweaking, adjusting, and adding new elements to your game as the season goes on. So he's happy where his team is at for the most part. Can never be too happy. And really the main thing that's missing is just putting some in the back of the net. They've been able to find one here today. Maybe looking for a second. Gebhardt's ball comes in, but it only hits Navarro. But it will earn a corner kick for Forward Madison, and I believe that's the first one of the game for them. And it will actually be the second, check that. It looks like in the Omaha game, Greg Hurst has scored for Union Omaha, so Maybe they're on their way, although it's early, to hold their #1 spot in the table. But a lot can happen, much like in this game. Malloy's ball. It's high, but it dips. Knotted away by Ricketts. Chattanooga looking to move fast. Belindra is dashing down the pitch. Hernandez on the ball. He'll hold it up a little bit and decide to slow the pace down. Chattanooga fans, Coca-Cola is the exclusive soft drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Here's Ruiz. Lays it off to Hernandez, been heavily involved in this game ever since he subbed on. Gebhard having himself a game, showing some talents here on the ball. It's given back to him. Derek Gebhard slips to the middle. Keegan lets it go. And that one couldn't find its way across, and Chattanooga's defense holds tight for now. That was incredibly promising from forward Madison. It's getting more and more end-to-end here at CHI Memorial Stadium. Here's Mensingen. He gets knocked into by Bariga Toyama. Now looks like it's going to be a foul on the left wing back, or left full back. Another set piece for Chattanooga. The United Soccer League, all 12 League One clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com. Another set piece for the Red Wolves. Ricky Ruiz on the ball. He has 3 goals, 3 assists on the year. Maybe trying to find #4 in the assist department, unless they have something else crafty drawn up. And they do. Ruiz, his ball comes in, headed back down, but that's far from goal from Arky Hernandez. And it'll be just a free kick, or a goal kick for Ford Madison. Might have been Ramos, the one who actually got his head on the ball. A congested area. The answer could even be both. Connor Tobin really done well for himself today. Now Tyler Allen moving forward for Ford Madison. He'll give it to his left to Suko. Gebhard now. Derek Gebhard maybe thought about a shot, but instead goes to Diaz. Diaz's ball comes in. Diaz into the middle. Gebhard! And the flag goes up. The goal will be denied here for Forward Madison. He just got himself behind the line. Gebhard maybe thought he was able to take the lead there. Let's take a quick look at that one again. Gebhard lays it off, gives it to Diaz. The ball comes back in. And Gebhard just gets behind Ramos there after the deflection. Hands to his face. Nothing could be done about it. And there he is, moving forward again, once again with the ball. Hernandez. Well done by Malloy, and I think he drew the foul there. Actually, they're going to say it's a foul against Malloy. A little bit indignant. I feel like he did well to get himself between the player and the ball, but refs saw otherwise. Another set-piece chance. This one with a little more distance, and actually it's going to be a throw-in. So no foul at all called by the official. Also just getting full time here. The Kickers have defeated FC Tucson at home. Oh, that was nearly crafty from the Red Wolves. Chino Perez has shown he is quite the cutting player on the ball. He can change direction at the snap of your fingers. I think that's the biggest impression I've gotten from him today in his debut with Forward Madison. coming from Ireland. Of course, from the States, from Illinois, so Madison not too far away from him in the grand scheme of things. Here's Ramos. Takes a couple steps, tries to send that ball inside. Villalobos able to keep the ball in Chattanooga's favor. Galindrez tries to deflect that one, and actually I think he may have gotten a foot on that one. Chattanooga fans, Ford is the official domestic car partner of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. I think Villalobos stayed to the ground after he won the ball back for the home side. And there he is. He may have just taken a knock on his foot going for the challenge. Just incidental contact there. Villalobos, one of the many goal scorers on this team and offensive weapons. Also does well in the midfield. 26 years old. Looks like he's going to be all right. This is one of the knocks of the game. See Villalobos there. Doing all right from Oasis, California. And he'll have to come off the pitch for now, and the way he looks like he's walking, he'll be coming back onto the pitch. Gets a little high five from Gino Perez.
1,619 in the building.
So over 1,500 in attendance here for Chattanooga. The Chattanooga Red Wolves really becoming one of the big fan bases in USL League One. And they have the stadium to show for it. Said it in the first half. Innovative stuff. They're the first team in the league to have a soccer-specific stadium built for League One play. And they're looking to set the standard in that regard. And they want all the other teams to follow suit. And I'm sure any club in this league would be happy if they had something like this here at CHI Memorial Stadium. Already got the lights, the stands, got some wonderful booths being built. And there's going to be other things to come here at CHI Memorial Stadium as time progresses. And we're going to get a yellow card here on Derek Gebhard. It'll be his 5th yellow card of the season. Gebhard, heavily involved player here today. Let's take a look at that one again. Derek Gebhard, of course, going into the books. Ricky Ruiz just, and it's actually not the foul, it's the extracurriculars after the fact that Gebhard is getting the foul for, or getting the card for. Some chaos there in the right corner. Rafa Mensingen with the ball. Mensingen looking to shake off Bariga Toyama, and was able to win himself a throw-in. Jonathan Ricketts puts this one back into play. Held up by Galindrez. Now he's in the corner, wonderful little give and go. And that ball will be deflected out for a corner kick for Chattanooga. We're getting into that zone. Last 15 minutes of the game, the Chattanooga Red Wolves love scoring goals. And this is the part of the game that Forward Madison has had to hold on to in the past. And after a loss at Fort Lauderdale, Carl Craig said this of his Forward Madison crew in the locker room after that loss. He said, I am really looking forward to seeing which of you stands up and grabs the bull by the horns next week when things get tough. Usually this is when things get tough, last 15 minutes. This ball swings in and it's headed away. Temporarily, Ruiz's shot gets skied away and into the crowd. And well done by that young lad there, giving the ball right back. Obviously not allowed to keep the ball, but didn't even think a second about keeping it, put it right back into play. And we're gonna get another substitution for the Chattanooga Red Wolves. And it's Ronaldo Pineda coming into the game. And coming out of the game is Jonathan Esparza. So that's a defender for a forward for Chattanooga. So that's information that you know what that means. You know what that means. But I mentioned, who can be that player to step up for Forward Madison in this last stretch of the game that Carl Craig was talking about? He said he knew it was going to happen. He's had some great players step up today. Gebhardt in particular has stood out to me. Connor Tobin, of course, doing what he does at the center back position. I'd say Chino Perez has had some good looks. But at the end of the game, who's going to make it count? Who is going to stop opportunity for Chattanooga or create a great chance on the attack? And this ball will be cleared away for now. Not a good touch there from Perez. Here's Ruiz moving forward. He'll take the space given to him before lobbing it over to the left corner. This one stepped inside, passed in the middle for Galindrez, but he can't see the ball get to him. Pineda threads it for Hernandez, but can't quite connect on it. It's going to be a goal kick. For the W, the USL recently announced the formation of the USLW League, providing increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across the Championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets, the W League is set to begin play in 2022 in more than 30 communities across the United States. Head over to uslwleague.com to learn more.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your last call for alcohol. It is for 78 minutes.
15 minutes to go, roughly. That's a shove from Mensingen, but either no foul called or advantage being played. Gio Barrega Toyama is having none of that. Said in the first half, 4 late game goals in 7 home games for Chattanooga, which leaves 3 where it didn't happen. So it's more often than not, we've seen some late action here. And even in one of those games, we saw Tucson make a comeback and draw it in those last 15 minutes. So although not favorable to the home side, excitement and CHI Memorial Stadium are nearly synonymous. Here's Gebhardt. He'll lay it out to his right. Keegan sets forward Malloy, but it's just too heavy. It'll be a goal kick for the Red Wolves. Trilk been tested a couple times today, but definitely not to the same bulk as Phil Brino. Tim Trilk, a guy who rode the bench in 2020. And Jimmy Blada said that we kind of wanted to give him the chance to play that season, but circumstances kept coming up that kept him from getting that chance. He said, going into the year, though, Tim was our guy for the 2021 season, and that we brought in Sebastian Moore to challenge him. You mentioned we owed him the chance to play a few weeks ago, and he's doing a heck of a job as this ball is sent forward. Hernandez with a flick-kicking header right into the open space. Savvy move from him. Here's Pineda. He's it to Galindrez. He'll give it back out to Pineda. Here's Galindrez. This ball's deflected, but it still finds a Red Wolf's foot. Pineda once again. He swings this ball in looking for Ricketts! At this point, it's customary. Late game goals in Chattanooga. They have taken the lead once again, and Jonathan Ricketts with his 2nd goal of the season. Looks like it's being waved off. It's not going to count. Ricketts must have been offside. Everyone in Chattanooga thought that was a goal, but it has come back. We are still level here. And now forward Madison looking for a response. Nothing official yet, but maybe it wasn't offside. I think maybe we're hearing a foul was actually called. And Jonathan Ricketts getting a little too physical inside of the 18 before getting his head on the ball. Once we get official confirmation, we'll let you know. Here's Jiro Barriga Toyama. I certainly thought he looked onside, so that would make a little bit more sense. Oh, promising from Madison. This ball sent to the middle. This ball puts inside. What a save by Trilk. He has to split up for that one. Punches it over the crossbar. The referee is going to say that it's, I think, a goal kick. Madison arguing that that second save was in fact a save. Let's take a look at that one again. That's a wonderful save from Trilk there. Had to slide into it. And then Allen's second shot, I'm not sure. I thought he got his hand on it. I even think Trilk was looking towards the corner. Ruiz out to Pineda. He chips it inside. Cleared away for now. Now Madison. They're looking to move forward.
The official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Upgrade your sports drink with Body Armor.
Here comes Chattanooga again. They thought they had the lead. A whistle brings it back. Here's Pineda. Here's a shot going forward, and it's just too high on that one. I think it was Villalobos who took that shot. As things stand, still one apiece. Chattanooga have drawn 4 of their last 5 games. Madison 3 of their last 5. And they're staring at a point a pop once again. Draws have been a favorable thing, though, in the league recently. I don't know if I'd say anyone's been in superb form recently. Obviously, Union Omaha and Chattanooga, the only 2 teams right now who don't have a loss in their last 5 games. But Chattanooga with 4 draws and Union Omaha with 3. And Jose Carrera Garcia has been added into the books today, his 4th yellow card of the season. The captain and the goal scorer for Chattanooga. Seems like it was forever ago at this point. Yep. His goal in the 6th minute set things in the right way for Chattanooga, but since then, forward Madison have stomped their foot on this game and have asserted themselves as quite the formidable foe, as they've proven to do in adverse environments so far this season against the top teams. Switched over to Allen. Tyler Allen moving forward. Still on it, tries to square it to Gebhardt in the middle. Doesn't quite connect, though. Looking for Galindrez moving forward. They'll keep it in play. Juan Galindrez, their goal-scoring leader. And that is well done by Malloy to handle him. Ruiz wins the ball back for Chattanooga. Chattanooga fans, Body Armor is the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. They're getting into crunch time once again. Jiro Barriga Toyama does well here. Not a great clearance from Brino, and Chattanooga could pounce on this. Here's Marquis Hernandez. It's on the right side, usually on the left, but as the play broke out, found himself on the right side, but Jirabariga Toyama was ready for it. Forward Madison slowing the pace down a little bit here. Maybe trying to stifle Chattanooga's late game energy that they usually pose and have shown so far. Well done by Gebhard. Diaz wins the ball back though for Forward Madison before Chattanooga takes it back. Here's Galindrez. Gives it to a middle. Rafa Mensingen. Mensingen, one-on-one. Gets it poked away by Jirabariga Toyama. Crucial touch and stop there by him. Home side on the attack again. Here's Galindrez. Couple of short passes. Here's Hernandez. Can he keep it in play? He does so, but not a great pass from him. Deflects off of Eric Leonard. Not a great touch from the center back. It'll be a corner kick brought to you by your local Ford dealer. And Chattanooga, another chance here. Their fourth corner kick of the game. Pineda will be the one on the ball. This goes high. Ricketts tries to head it back into play. He does so, but at that point, only Madison players are there. Possession stays for the home side, though, for the throw-in.
All digital displays in the stadium this evening, provided by Plainview LED. Make your next event bigger, better, and brighter with Plainview LED.
Mensingen, good throw from Hernandez. Mensingen, not sure if that was a heated pass or a shot. Kind of hard to believe that it would have been a shot, and that's then knocked out of play. Still be Chattanooga ball. Big effort there, though, by Pineda to keep that in play. Seemed like it was bound to go out. Took out the corner flag in the process. That's going to be another foul. Chattanooga with another free kick. Christian Diaz receiving the warning from our head official, Deshaun Beard. How many more chances can Chattanooga find before this game is over? And can Forward Madison hold on and maybe even spring a counterattack of their own? Jose Carrera Garcia, the captain, the cog in the middle of this Chattanooga machine. He'll give it to Ricky Ruiz. Ruiz puts this ball in. It's headed down by Gebhard. The follow-up deflected away by Tyler Allen. Now Forward Madison, they're pushing forward. Jake Keegan. He sends it forward. Allen is sprinting. Tyler Allen. One-on-one with Villalobos. Allen gets through, sends it to the middle. A couple of touches. Keegan deflected away. Jason Ramos makes the stop, and Keegan falls flat on his back. What a huge stop from the center back, Jason Ramos. Many teams and many coaches have highlighted him as the most talented player on this Chattanooga back line. And he shows up there for his team, and he is amped about it, rightfully so. We've got a Madison substitution here. Michael Vang is going to come into the game, voted team MVP in 2020.
Substitution presented by D1 Train Chattanooga, Train Different. Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated
he's coming in for Chino Perez, so his debut is over for Forward Madison. And now the corner kick. 4 minutes. Can either team take away 3 points here? This ball's short, headed away by Galindrez. Here come the Mingos. Let's see just how loud this crowd can get tonight. It has been constant tension for 91 minutes. Will a team be rewarded with a victory? Or will this absolute match that has been played between these two, I struggle to find the words for it, will there be rightfully no winner? Hernandez keeps it in. Marky Hernandez still on the ball. He gives it back. Pineda's cross comes in, looking for Galindrez. Now Villalobos. Villalobos gives it out wide. It's Jonathan Ricketts. Thought he had the game winner earlier, or at least wanted to take the lead. Ricketts' ball comes in. Almost a bicycle kick, and that could be a foul on Galindrez. Actually, it's Marky Hernandez, the one who went for the bike. And that could have made some contact there with Eric Leonard. I think it did. And he's going to get a yellow card for it, Marky Hernandez, a dangerous spot. Bikes are fancy, but they can be dangerous if you're right by another player. His second booking of the season. And that'll chew out some clock too. The ref does have the ability though to let it roll past 4 minutes, given some of that slowing down especially. Brino taking his time. This ball bounces a couple times. Diaz fighting with Hernandez. And although he couldn't win the ball back, Ford Madison were the victors of possession for that moment. Gebhard moving forward. Derek Gebhard. Couple touches. Can't reach the striker. He can't touch it. He's offside. And that ball will be knocked out of play and hoofed out. Save the corner kick. Ford Madison pushes forward though. 4 minutes have now expired. The whistle could be blown at any time by our head official, Deshaun Beard. And at this point, it looks like Chattanooga may just be thinking draw. Gebhard draws the foul here, much to the anger of the guilty fouler, Ronaldo Pineda. Can the Mingos come up with something crazy here? This may be the last chance for either team today. It's not a bad ball, it's headed upward. And Jason Ramos is able to head it away. It's going to be a Chattanooga throw. Clock is still ticking. Rafa Mensingen He's got Hernandez on his right. Marquis Hernandez. One-on-one with Vang. He moves forward. Marquis Hernandez to Ruiz. Over to Pineda. Ronaldo Pineda gets tripped for a moment. No foul called. And there's your final whistle. Or maybe the referee needs to make sure that a fight doesn't break out here. Head official, Deshaun Beard. He's gonna have to handle this situation. And this may just be the conclusion right here. Some frustration and anger between these two teams. The whole refereeing squad all coming over here to try to disperse, while a lot of players have questions. I don't think too many pleasantries are being thrown around right now. Oh, do see some hands being shaken. Derek Gebhardt on the ground. Looks like some hands are being shaken. It did sound like the final whistle was given. And at this point, he might just be calling it game. And it looks like, from what I'm hearing, it is the end of the game. That final whistle was right, so maybe a sour way to end the 90-plus minutes, but still, you can't take away from the fact that both teams played their hearts out tonight and earned themselves a point. Let's take a look at our shot of the match. First off, to kind of get an idea of just how this game went, Jose Carrera Garcia, the author of the shot of the match, brought to you by Amigos Mexican Restaurant. Early in the game, 6th minute, Jose Carrera Garcia, his second straight goal this season, after not scoring any goals before that. As we now look at our move of the match coming up next. We had a lot of great moments in this game, but this is a great save here by Tim Trilk. And then he also may have had to get his hand on that one, not sure entirely, but that move of the match brought to you by Sunny 92.3. And then last but not least, our save of the match, which came earlier in the game. It was actually the first save. Tim Trilk having to go skyward to punch that ball out of the danger zone from Jake Keegan's chipped shot. A little bit of a lobbed volley from him. That brought to you by the Chattanooga Hotel. Well, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll have the highlights, the full-time stats, and our last slots right here on ESPN+.
If your tamer passions include climbing, hang gliding, and river surfing, some may call you a hair-on-fire risk taker. We'd say, nah. They might not realize you're also a nonconformist, craft curator, history buff, art-loving experience collector. But ask a Chattanoogan, we just call you one of us.
Good times, bad times, and everything in between. Your primary care doctor is with you all the way.
was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Well, we thought that we had a late game winner for both sides. First, Chattanooga's goal called back, and then at the last moment, a great Jason Ramos stop kept the Forward Madison side from scoring a game winner themselves after that fact. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this game. It was an action-packed affair. These highlights brought to you by CHI Memorial. So I'm sure if you've been tagging along that you had yourself a great time. It was one with so many great plays from both sides. Jose Correa Garcia getting on the score sheet first in this one. The captain, so integral to the way this team functions. It's always nice to see him get on the score sheet and maybe get some of the glory himself that may get overlooked at times. Then a wonderful header from Fuson. Much like Jose Correa Garcia, hadn't scored all season, scores last week, and then scores for a second straight game. Noah Fuson did have to get subbed out in the second half, but really did well for himself. Then the Red Wolves in the second half. Marky Hernandez, some great looks here, but you can't sneak off the veteran Connor Tobin, who was ready for it, foresaw the cut that Hernandez was going to make. Some great touches and steps from him, but Connor Tobin well aware of what can happen. Some more chances here. That header from a Chattanooga player inside the box. Looks like it was Marky Hernandez, the one who actually got the head on it. And then as action went along, Tim Troke with a fantastic extension of his left leg to keep it level at 1 apiece. Some great passing inside the 18 from Forward Madison today at several different occasions, just showing a sharpness inside the 18. Maybe could have earned them a couple more goals than one, but this right there, Jason Ramos keeps Jake Keegan from tying Ronaldo Demis's 21 career League One goals hold on the league's leading goal scorer in the history. As we take a look at our stats brought to you by Smart Bank. I said it in the first half, and I'll say it again. This was a match where both teams deserved to come away with a point. Very hard fought from both sides. Both really put their all on the pitch tonight, and honestly, you know, it's just a pleasure to watch games like this where both teams really, in a way, executed their plans and did what they wanted to do and were rewarded at times and were punished at times. So it's just one of those times. But with that, though, thank you for watching this game. Chattanooga now have more draws than wins, so they'll need to think about how to get some more goals as the season goes on, but they've got a break before a Tuesday match with North Carolina FC next week. Meanwhile, a trip to Warner Park is ahead for Forward Madison, folks, so the challenging aspects of the season do not close anytime soon. For all those who are producing and operating this match, thank you for watching. I'm Mark Schoenster. Until next time on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.